Okay, so in this problem, we wanted to find the area of a rectangle. So we could actually use our area as a circle as a starting point. So if we look at our area of a circle, we can remind ourselves that the parts of a function. So we have this function header line, the first line in the file is the header, where we have the function keyword, the return variable, the name of the function, and the arguments. So we can just go ahead and make the same thing in our rectangle file. So I named my function calcrect. You can name it whatever you want. Again, you start with the keyword function, the return variable, the name of the function, and then the arguments that it's going to take. Since here we're calculating the area of a rectangle, we need one argument for the width and one for the length. The calculation, right, for area of a rectangle is just the width times the length, and then we'll end, right? So this does look a lot like the calc area function for a circle, with the calculation and then end. Likewise, when we called our circle function, we called it from another file where we first input the radius, and then we called the function to do the calculation and then did some output. So I use this kind of as a template for a file I called rectangle, where I did pretty much the same thing, except here we need two input statements, one for the length and one for the width. You remember, it doesn't matter what I name these variables. It can be something completely different from the variables in my function. Here I have my function call, and notice that what does matter here is that these arguments need to be in the same order that my calcrec function is expecting them. So I'm expecting the width, then the length. So I want to make sure that when I call this function, whatever variables I have that represent those values, I pass in first the width and then the length, because they'll be matched in order. Okay, so then I'm just going to output the answer that gets calculated by my function again. So I can then go ahead and run this. Please enter the length of the rectangle, let's say 4.2, the width 3.5, and it tells me that the area of my rectangle is 14.7. So, whenever you run a program like this, you're going to want to make sure that you get the right answer. So a good thing to do would be to just do that calculation and make sure the answer is right, so you'll know whether or not your program is working.